Tally ho, it's KingFishOcean, also known as It's Ocean, back again with more Doki Doki Literature Club. Last episode we did the reflection side story, and now we're doing the final one, self-love. Not sure if this will be the final episode or if there'll be some extra stuff after this. I don't know, I guess we'll find out. But anyway, let's get straight into this. Hells yes. It's only been one day since Yuri's letter was delivered to Natsuki with Monika's help. Because Yuri chose not to attend the club meeting that day, she and Natsuki haven't faced each other since. Though it's only lunchtime, Yuri finds herself anxiously waiting, counting the hours until she will need to face the outcome of her efforts, whether good or bad. And because the passing by of students was making her feel even more anxious, Yuri picked out the most secluded spot that she could find to spend her lunch. Because this staircase is under maintenance, no student would have any reason for coming here. It's such a relaxing so it's actually like, that's what all the stuff in the background is. It's being like built or something. Like they're doing some form of maintenance on it. I thought it was just like a bit of something to the side and you could just pass by it, but I guess that makes sense now. It's such a relaxing feeling to have a moment of solitude in the middle of a frantic school day. What are you doing here? I just... Yuri grips her book with enough force to wrinkle the pages beneath the pressure of her thumbs. What are you doing here? I just came to get a drink from the vending machine. The other one is out of the drink I like. Yuri notices Natsuki fidgeting with a few coins between her fingers. She nods, avoiding eye contact. Natsuki, also looking away, shuffles over to the vending machine. It's so quiet that every one of her movements seems to reverberate through the entire stairwell. After far too long, she finally receives her beverage, which she then fidgets with in place of the coins. It's some kind of iced tea. But instead of leaving right away, Natsuki just stands in place. She glances all around her. It's like, way too quiet back here, it's kinda creepy. I mean, that's not what I meant. I mean, it's totally cool that it's your thing or whatever, like, I can see how it might suit you, but, not because I think you're creepy or something, I didn't mean that either. You know, I'm just gonna stop talking. That seems like a really good idea. It's okay. Everything is okay. Yuri finds herself attempting some words of comfort after hearing Natsuki stammer herself into dejection. Seemingly in response, Natsuki approaches the base of the staircase and hesitantly sits herself down near Yuri. Well, I mean, I can leave if you want. Yuri shakes her head. Natsuki twists the cap off her drink and takes a sip. Despite receiving Yuri's general permission, Natsuki doesn't say anything more. Yuri continues to read, or at least pretends to. There's a small gap under the staircase, and I feel like I could fit in there. I just had that random thought of I'd just like to crawl in there and be like, what's under here? And then the two just sit there for a long time. The tension seems to fade a little bit as time passes. Even without any words, this seems to mean at least something, though it's not clear what that might be. Lunch ends more quickly than expected. Natsuki's the first to stand up with her empty drink bottle. Are you coming today? To the club, I mean. Yuri nods. I'm sorry for being so awkward. I'm really bad at talking about this stuff. I just can't for some reason. I don't know why. But I want to. Eventually. There's no rush. I promise. Thanks. Aw, that's nice. So this will be Yuri and Natsuki's, like, I guess confrontation towards each other. Maybe confrontation is the wrong word. Their talk, I guess. It's the next day. Natsuki appears from around the corner and steps up to the vending machine, glancing at Yuri as she does so. Today, she seems to be holding some kind of book as well. Oh, you're here again. Well, I just came here to read this because there aren't many people around here. I thought you didn't like how quiet it was. Well, I don't, but there's no people here. I see. Natsuki sits down. The mood feels much different today than it did yesterday. After yesterday's lunch and the club meeting that followed, Natsuki and Yuri are beginning to feel more relaxed around each other again. Although Yuri's letter is still lingering in the back of Natsuki's mind, she continues to detour around it. But it's okay that I'm here? Yeah, I don't care. I mostly just don't feel like dealing with the crap I get from my friends about it. Especially since, like, they all just assumed I stopped reading manga after I joined the literature club. Not that I'm trying to hide it from them exactly, but I just don't want it to come up again now that I've waited so long for this new volume to come out. Literally months at this point. You don't have other friends who are into manga? Not unless online friends count. And Sayori, but that's different, because she's not exactly into it, she just kind of likes it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Honestly, you're lucky that the books you're into at least just look like books. You don't have to feel like everyone is constantly judging you by what you're reading. That would be so awful. Especially since I hate attention already so much. Well, it's a good thing I have thick skin, I guess. I wouldn't say you do, Natsuki, but okay. By the way, I would totally recommend finding some friends online if you haven't already. If you're like me and don't have people to share your hobbies with. Oh, I have online friends. Since middle school, actually. I was especially desperate back then. It's somewhat embarrassing to reminisce about those days. Sometimes I feel like the me from a few years ago would have benefited from a good smack across the face. Oh, whatever. We were all stupid kids back then anyway. Some of the fanfics I wrote, thank God I used a pseudonym. But I liked it at the time. I got a lot of fulfillment out of it. And plus, I can look back and say with confidence that I've become a better person since then. So I don't think I would change anything. I wonder if a few years from now we'll think the same thing about our current selves. Probably. That doesn't make you uncomfortable? No, of course not. I don't care what other people think of me, especially someone who doesn't even exist yet. Alright, here. Natsuki raises her hand to her face and forcefully slaps her own cheek. That's me from the future coming to terms with me right now. Also, ow, I didn't mean to do it that hard. That's very relatable. I've done that so many times in content alone, in videos alone, where I've slapped myself for a joke, and it's ended up looking really stupid, and I've hit myself too hard. Yuri doesn't seem to react, but then, to Natsuki's surprise, Yuri shyly looks the other way before lifting her arm and doing the same thing to herself, loudly smacking her cheek. She turns red and stares into her lap, but is unable to hide a smile as though it was a really funny joke. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't know you had it in you, girl. Hell yeah. I don't even know why I did that. Maybe I thought it would be funny. Sorry, I keep distracting you. You said you were looking forward to reading, but I keep going on about all this nonsense. I'll let you get to your reading. Oh, right. Yeah, I guess I'll do that then. The conversation ends quickly and Natsuki opens her book. The two read silently for the remainder of the lunch hour, but the whole time Yuri feels distracted by a twist of regret over having so abruptly forced the end of their conversation. You're back. Yeah, I'm here to lay low again. Another day has passed. During lunchtime, Natsuki finds herself having wandered to the stairway once more. Hey, did you buy that? Natsuki quickly notices a bottle of iced tea on the staircase where she normally sits. Yuri nods, avoiding eye contact. What, like, for me? You didn't know I was coming here today. What if I didn't show up? Well, I mean, I would have just drank it myself, I guess. It was a stupid thing to do. No, it wasn't stupid. I just thought... never mind, Baka-chan Baka. What I meant to say is thank you. Now, that's a really nice gesture. It's okay if you don't feel that way. I do. It was the other things that I didn't mean. I swear, please believe me. Yuri pauses and then nods. Talking is hard. I get it wrong a lot too. So I believe you. Natsuki exhales in relief. She then sits down next to Yuri and takes the drink. Knowing Yuri, she was probably overthinking it so much that Natsuki's tepid response filled her with self-doubt. I'll do something nice for you next time, I guess. Please don't feel obligated. I want to. I want to do nice things too. Okay. Thank you. You can thank me after I figure out how to do something nice. I'll do it then too. Natsuki sighs. Nothing. Just reminds me of how I haven't been getting along with my friends lately. Is that why you've been coming here? Well, no, not exactly. I haven't been avoiding them on purpose or anything, but there are just the other things I'd rather be doing during lunch lately. I like being around them when we're all just having fun, but they also just can't take anything seriously. So when I'm like, I don't know, feeling serious and their attitudes just really get on my nerves. It's only gotten worse since I joined the literature club. How come? I don't know. I feel like I used to be really good with just putting up with it, because it would be so stupid to cause drama over a joke I didn't like or something. But I just have a hard time doing that lately. It's my fault for being so overly sensitive. If I have a problem, I'm not gonna demand for everyone around me to change. But, yeah, I know. Monika and Sayori really don't agree with that kind of thing. But they're not in my position, so it's easy for them to say that you should just communicate your feelings or whatever. It's not like my friend group does that kind of thing. I would just be making an embarrassment out of myself. Sorry, none of this has got to do with you. I don't know why I'm talking about it. Natsuki, to be really honest, I suggest you just stop caring about those people, because if they're not going to take you seriously, they're not going to back you up, they're not going to listen to your feelings, and they're just going to make fun of you, then they're not worth your time, in my opinion. They're not actually your friends. It's okay. I like listening. What? Listening to other people's problems? Yes. That's kind of weird. Sorry, I just like learning about people. Do you think it's weird? No, that's not weird. I probably just misunderstood. So, I don't know. Does that mean I should keep going? If you'd like. Okay. Well, I don't know what to talk about now. What are some things that you like about your friends? A lot of things. I mean, they're really fun to hang out with, like, after school and on the weekends. They really like my baking. It's fun to complain about school together. They make me laugh a lot, and we have a lot of good memories and inside jokes. Oh, I'm bad at a lot of those things. So? Are those all things that are important to you? Well, kind of, but they're not things I need to get out of everybody. Everyone in the club is really different from that, but I'm still friends with them, too. Well, Sayori really likes your baking, and she makes you laugh, and she complains a lot. That doesn't mean she's anything like my other friends, though. Well, unlike them, she's a nice person who cares about your feelings. Excuse me? How about you don't talk about my friends like that you don't know anything about? Natsuki stands up. Natsuki, for fuck's sake, stop being such an asshole to people. She's just trying to show concern. She's trying to tell you the same thing that I'm saying, and if your friends are not going to respect your feelings, then they're not worth your time. Stop being so defensive! Like, for crying out loud! No, wait! I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't want to say something bad. Please don't leave. Natsuki sighs and shakes her head. It's fine. As long as you understand that you can't just judge people like that. I'm sorry. Natsuki sits back down. You can't just compare friends like that and, like, measure who's better than who. Everyone's different. Well, she's right about that. I'm sorry. I just don't like people who want to hurt you. A moment of silence stretches between them. They don't want to hurt me. We just like to tease each other about stupid things. It's kind of fun. I don't like that. That's why I'm friends with them and you're not. You like it? Just don't worry so much about me. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. Wish I knew how to help with social conflicts, like how Monika can. She's good at these things. Not really. Also, I don't always want help. Sometimes it's just stuff I have to deal with myself. That's what Monika and Sayori never seem to understand. Sometimes all you can do is look at them wrong, and they're all like, oh, what's wrong? Is everything okay? I just want to mind my own business sometimes and decide myself if I want to talk about things. I can kind of understand that. The only one who understands that is you. So you really shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You're not as bad as you think. Well, you don't need to reassure me or anything. I mean that. Plus, it makes sense that someone who doesn't talk a lot would make a good listener. Thank you. You're also nice. It's really hard for me. It doesn't come naturally at all. It's so weird because I always thought of myself as someone who can just say whatever's on my mind. But I feel like that only works when I'm annoyed or upset or I want to say something mean. Why am I like this? You don't have to answer that, I'm just talking to myself. Yuri nods and remains silent. Natsuki notices her fidgeting with the pages of her book. How come you like reading so much, by the way? Well, a lot of reasons. I just get sucked into it so easily. It's so immersive, like I want to be a part of it. I think there are a lot of things about people in real life that make me feel uncomfortable and frustrated. Especially when it comes to following social conventions and group interactions. I just don't really understand it, and I have no real desire to participate. But it's different with books. Feels like I always want to be around the characters. Feel such a strong emotional connection with them in ways that I've never felt with real people. So in that way, it can sometimes feel more real than real life. Really? Huh. Is that hard for you to be around people, like, all the time? Yep, social anxiety disorder is not fucking fun. Fairly often, especially in group settings. When people are making all kinds of conversation and saying jokes and all of that, I don't know what to do and I just disengage. Oh. That doesn't get lonely? I don't think so. For me, it's a case of, I can be okay in group settings if I know the people. If I don't, then it's really tough. But if I know the people, and it's a conversation that I can relate to, or that I know about, so if they're like, if this group are like, oh, have you played Doki Doki Literature Club? Such a good game. I'm like, oh, Doki Doki! And I can, like, talk for hours about that kind of stuff. But then if they're like, oh, have you seen this latest film that I've not seen? I'm just kind of like, and I just don't know what to say, and so I end up being silent for most of the time because I can't join in with the conversation, which, when those kind of conversations happen and they keep going on and on and on, like, they can be the worst sometimes, because you just kind of sat there not knowing what to say or do, and then you feel really awkward and really stressed and anxious about it, and it's like, I can still enjoy spending time with people one-on-one, and I have online friends too, of course. Do you ever wish that you could be friends with the characters in your books? All the time. Sometimes so badly that it makes my heart ache. Yeah. Me too. Really? Mm-hmm. A lot. Like, more than anything. After Natsuki mutters that, silence fills the stairway once more. But it's a mutual silence. One full of understanding. Is that the end of part 1? Yep. Alright. We have no new stuff right now. Alright, so let's just jump straight into part 2. Part dos. Part ni. Hey. Oh, hello. I almost thought you weren't coming today. Yeah, well, lunch is already more than halfway over. Natsuki had typically been meeting Yuri in the stairwell much earlier, since it had been a good way of dodging her friends when she didn't feel like seeing them. Today, though, she's holding a large plastic container in both hands. I ran into my friends, so I hung out with them for a while. Is that so? Yeah. I was in a good mood today, so I figured I should. I hadn't seen them in a while, which I had to come up with an excuse for, but I expected that. Plus, I have way more of these than I know what to do with, so I figured I would share them with you, too. As she sits down, Natsuki opens a lid in her container. Cupcakes, I'm assuming. Yep. You make cupcakes. You know it. It's been a while at this point, so I figured it was about time again. You can take one if you want. Yuri takes a cupcake and carefully twirls it between her fingers. It's brown, with dark green frosting immaculately shaped in a floral pattern and topped with some kind of glittery powder. Sounds good. How pretty. I just ate, so I might not be able to finish it, though. Are they for the club? Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really think about it, I just kind of made them. Ah, I just thought that because green is Monika's favorite color, right? Well, yeah, but that's not really... Yuri takes a small bite. This is green tea flavored. I love green tea. Oh, do you? It was just a random idea I wanted to try, I guess, so... Don't laugh at me. I'm not. I just felt happy. Sorry. Usually when... never mind. What I mean is that I'm glad. Sorry for saying dumb things again. I just wanted to do something nice. And this is something I happen to be good at. And I do know that you like them from past experience. Yuri turns red, recalling the time she treated herself rather generously to Natsuki's cupcakes. Ironically, her mouth is too full of cupcake for her to stammer an excuse, so she just settles for a disapproving look. So how did you get into baking? Well, I don't know, it just always kind of appealed to me. Well, a few years ago, I read this one manga with a lot of baking, so I got, like, super into it for a while. I was probably making stuff almost every day. But it's something that I always knew I liked anyway. It's like, baking is like an art. But when you get good at it, it gets more delicious, too. Wise words. For once. I'm struggling to imagine myself putting my heart into something so artistic, knowing that it would just be eaten afterwards. Yeah, maybe you're too practical for it. I think I prefer to be on the receiving end. That's my other favorite part about it. It's something I can do that makes a lot of people happy, like unconditionally. Everyone is always so thankful, and in that moment you get to be like the bringer of joy. The bringer of joy! I don't know, it just makes me feel... valued? Yeah, I guess that. So you're able to make up with your friends today? Huh? Oh, there wasn't really anything to make up with them about. We weren't fighting or anything. Oh, you weren't? Maybe I misunderstood. It only turns into a fight if I lose my cool, and that's just unnecessary drama. It only makes things worse. So they're not gonna stop? I mean, it only happens sometimes anyway. It's just the way they are. I'm the only one who has ever has a problem with it. It's not worth it. Especially since I have somewhere to go now where I don't feel like hanging out with them. Oh, I see. The cupcake's empty foil wrapper audibly crinkles as Yuri clenches a fist. I'm glad that the situation is resolved. That you don't have to avoid them anymore. Yeah. Me too. I don't have to bother you during your alone time anymore. I'm sure you have a lot of reading to catch up on. Yeah. I know that the cupcakes are basically nothing compared to all the stuff you've done for me, but it's the least I can do. So you can have the rest of them. Natsuki grabs the box and slides it over to Yuri's feet. Yuri stares at the box, and then she shakes her head and slides them back. You should save them for your other friends. But I made them for you. Natsuki's voice whines as she protests. I know. I like them very much, exactly as you thought. You succeeded. But I know you care about making your other friends happy too. And if this is the way that you know how to make that happen, then I'm not going to take that from you. No, they were for making you happy. You make me happy. You're worth more than any cupcakes to some people. That's why they want to spend time with you and be your friend. Without warning, tears pour from Natsuki's eyes. She pulls her knees to her chest and starts sobbing into her arms. Natsuki! I'm such a bad person. Yuri stammers, feeling panicked. I didn't mean to say something bad. Natsuki shakes her head and wipes her eyes. You didn't. I just... Natsuki tries to choke back her sobs, but struggles to speak through them. I just really hate myself sometimes. And it feels so wrong when you say those nice things to me. Like I don't deserve it. I'm sorry. No, I am. I'm so difficult. And I can't think of a single thing about myself that somebody would even like. I hated myself for bothering you during lunch. I just thought it was my chance to be a good person, like to be nice and do the things that you wrote about in the letter. I knew if I tried in the club, Sayori and Monika would be super annoying and just make a huge deal out of it. You know, I think a lot of those negative things too, about myself. Never felt like a good person. I always scrutinize everything I say, and later, I feel like I said all the wrong things. I just spend so much time thinking about myself, hating myself, and feeling like everyone else must hate me too. So I understand some of that through my own experience. That's why I wanted to write the letter and express my feelings. It pained me to see those things in someone else that I saw in myself. Natsuki sniffles. Yuri rustles for her bag and pulls out some tissues and then hands them to Natsuki. Monika told me that it takes a good person to reflect on those things. The desire to improve yourself. That makes you a good person, so don't worry so much. Also, there are things about you that people would like, so... Like what? Like how you're fun for people to be around. You're not shy and you know how to make people laugh. You're very passionate about things, you know how to take the lead. You care a lot about other people. And just a lot of things. Well, now you're making me feel really embarrassed. Well, you're the one who asked. Don't you think I feel embarrassed? Natsuki tries to hide a smile, then she sighs as it fades again. Every time I come here, I always think it's the last time, then I end up coming back for some reason. Is that bad? Just really confusing. I mean, my friends and I go way back, so ditching them all the time feels like... I don't know. Feels like what? Natsuki's voice gets quiet. Maybe I'm scared they'll get mad at me. I don't really know what to do. She pauses. Yuri stares into the distance, tracing her eyes along the patterns of the floor tiles while she thinks for herself. What would you do, hypothetically, if your friends were happy for you instead of mad at you? Happy for what? Happy that your new club is making you happy. Well, that's just not a fair hypothetical. Natsuki says that, but with little confidence in her voice. I always told myself that I don't rely on the approval of others to be happy. I still feel that way, but I'm spending time with people who put me down whenever I don't have their approval. That's probably what's making me feel so confused, because I'm threatened out of the things that should make me happy. So no matter what, it's like I have to be unhappy to be happy. It's making my head hurt. That must make it really difficult to feel comfortable with yourself, being made to feel like you're wrong just for being the person you are. Really goes against everything I believe in, doesn't it? It goes against the kind of person I want to be. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with a lot of things. Natsuki presses her palms into her forehead and shakes her head. I know what's best for me, but I keep convincing myself out of it. It's so much easier to be comfortably unhappy than it is to do something so scary. To do what? You know. To end it. With them? Natsuki nods. I didn't think you were actively considering that as an option. I wasn't until recently. It's just one of those things where, like, it's been a certain way for so long that you just get used to it. Like, so much of you has gone into it, so much that it feels like that's just how your life is. And throwing it away is like throwing away such a big part of your life. It makes me sick to think about. It makes me feel sick to think about. Natsuki sighs. It's just really scary. It's kind of terrifying. What are you scared of? I don't know. A lot of things. Like being alone, not having anyone to talk to or hang out with, not being able to replace what I have with them. I don't want them to hate me. I'm scared they'll hurt me for going against them. Physically? Not physically, but... Yuri clenches her fists. Natsuki. What? If anyone even thinks to cause you harm, I will unleash hell upon them. Hell yeah, Yuri! Woo! Go on, Yuri! Fuck yeah! Fuck those bitches up! Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Natsuki snorts in laughter. Don't laugh at me, I meant it. Sorry, I liked that. That's all. Natsuki will remember that. Oh, well, I meant it. I know you did. Natsuki gives Yuri an endearing look. Plus, as well as that, if those friends start being assholes, Monika can just delete them from existence, so there's that too. I needed that. As the conversation lapses, Natsuki again slides her box of cupcakes over to Yuri. Just take them, okay? I don't want other people to have them anymore. Are you sure? Natsuki nods. I'm sure. I will then. I'll enjoy them. Natsuki looks away, but a feeling of warmth spreads through her. She holds on to that feeling, knowing it will give her courage. I still think they could have shared the cupcakes with the rest of the club, as well. Oh, you're here first today. And you brought reading material. Natsuki is sitting in her usual spot, this time holding a volume of manga while her lunch sits beside her. Yuri sits down as well and opens her own book. It sucks when a good series has to come to an end. Like, it's such a big part of your life, then one day there's just nothing left. Is this game being meta right now? Because this is almost over? The feels. Makes you feel so empty. Unfortunately, I'm about to experience that myself. I'm on the last book of this series. That sucks. But there's also something satisfying about letting a story conclude. I don't know if I'd want it to go on forever. Maybe. There are some things that I wish could. On the other hand, have you ever read something that overstayed its welcome? Oh yeah, definitely. Think of at least one thing I've read that got pretty unbearable like halfway through, and the ending really sucked. So it sucks when something good has to end, but it also sucks when they just keep inventing more plot until you don't like it anymore. I guess it sucks either way. That's the nature of all things. They come to an end. The two fall silent. They slowly eat while making their way through their respective reading material. Except Natsuki doesn't seem to be touching her food at all. You don't go out during the weekends, right? Excuse me? Like, with friends at the mall or downtown or whatever? I'm not a total shut-in, you know. Oh, okay, my bad for making assumptions. Well, I'm sure I go out less often than other people like you and others in the club. I don't really meet with friends or arbitrarily spend time like that. Usually meeting with my board game group. Board game group? It doesn't matter, it's just more nerdy stuff. She's a D&D fan. Why do you ask, anyway? I was just curious. I just realized that I couldn't picture it, so I was just curious. Yuri looks at Natsuki and realizes that she's shaking. Don't look at me like that. I'm sorry. Natsuki pulls her knees into her chest and puts her head down. I can't take this. Did I do something? Yuri gets flustered, her mind racing over what she may have said or done. I did. I ended it. I texted them earlier, telling them. And I just blocked them because I was so afraid of their responses. Now it feels like I'm dying inside. Oh, that's... I'm sorry. Totally unsure of what to do. Yuri can barely find any words of support to offer. Meanwhile, the sound of Natsuki's unusually hard breathing fills the air. Is this going to be a CG scene? Then she speaks again, barely above a whisper. Hail Hydra. Help me. I feel sick and I want to hit my head against things and please help. I can't take this. He may be having a panic attack. That realization, Yuri's demeanor suddenly changes. I have experience with this, so I'll help you through it, okay? Natsuki meekly nods for a rapid breath, head still buried in her knees. Yuri slides herself over to Natsuki and sits on the step beside her. Then she puts her hands on Natsuki's shoulders. Can you feel my hands? Natsuki nods. Her shaking becomes much more apparent for Yuri's sense of touch. Yuri keeps her voice low and gentle. You're safe right now. You're in a good and safe place where nothing can hurt you. Natsuki nods once more. Although Yuri is only touching Natsuki's shoulders, she can practically feel her racing pulse through the base of her neck. We'll do a breathing exercise together. All you have to do is listen to my breaths and breathe along with me. Let's breathe in now. Beneath her hand, she feels Natsuki's shoulders rise as Natsuki takes a breath in of her own, trying to mimic Yuri. They exhale together. Natsuki's breath shakes on the way out. I was holding that in the whole time. That's good. Let's keep going. Yuri breathes in once more and Natsuki joins her. They continue like that for a few more cycles while Yuri closely monitors. Eventually, Yuri feels Natsuki rest more of her weight into Yuri's palms. Let's focus on the physical world. All you have to do is focus on the feeling of your breaths going in and out. And the weight of my hands on your shoulders. You're in a safe and comfortable physical space. Curious who taught Yuri this. Or how she learned it, should I say. Minutes pass in silence. By now the worst of it is past, but Yuri is determined not to move away until Natsuki prompts her to. Meanwhile, Natsuki has lifted her head off her knees, and her breathing is mostly steadied. Then she takes a final deep breath and slowly pulls herself to her feet, causing Yuri to let go. She stretches her arms. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to freak out. I don't know what my deal is. You don't have to apologize. It must be enormously stressful for you. Is that gonna keep happening? It may, or it may not. We can take measures to help prevent it in the future, but I think it would naturally get better over time. Natsuki motions to sit back down again, so Yuri moves over. Yuri turns away to pick up her open book from the dusty floor, which she had hastily set down earlier. She brushes the dust off the cover. I don't think I could have got through that alone. You're not alone. Feeling shy again, Yuri speaks into her own lap. From now on, you don't have to do anything alone. Aww. As she says that, Yuri tenses up. It's rare for her to so openly share her thoughts. Something about... got a hair in my mouth. But something about Natsuki, of all people, makes it feel so much more natural to do so. Perhaps people like Yuri, Natsuki... Perhaps because, like Yuri, Natsuki is so timid and uncertain of herself. Natsuki does such a good job at hiding it that it's taken a long time for Yuri to finally realize it. Because of that, Yuri is able to deliver the reassurance that she herself would have wanted, demonstrating that you deserve the love of others. If you can accept that for the first time, perhaps you can begin the tumultuous journey of learning to love yourself. Aww. Cute! Do you really mean that? You're probably gonna regret saying that if you do. How so? I find it weird that they're just sat on the floor, though. I'd probably be sat on the stairs. Probably near the top as well, actually. Because I'm probably gonna have a lot of free time during the weekends from now on. So you give me permission to be as annoying as I want and drag you around a lot of places. I see. But you already said it, so you can't take it back now. Ah. Well, I suppose I have no choice but to accept that responsibility, then. Mm-hmm. They both fall asleep. You know, I know a good ice cream place. Oh? That means you finally figured out my favorite ice cream flavor. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, you don't remember? First day when you came to the club, you guessed everyone's favorite ice cream flavor, but for me, you said you had no idea. Seriously? Oh, I don't remember that at all. Oh, wait, yes I do. I said it was probably green tea, I think. Yuri shakes her head. It's a good guess, but my favorite is usually to get chocolate and raspberry together. Chocolate and raspberry? How fancy. How's that fancy? Oh, I don't know. I feel like I should have guessed something like that. Well, maybe next time I'll try chocolate and strawberry. Hell yes. Hey, strawberry's my favorite. What a coincidence. That's such a lovely image. I think it helps to have something to look forward to. Still have the sick feeling in my stomach, but it's easier now to convince myself that I did the right thing. Is there anything better I could be doing? Not that I know of. There's nothing that would make this easy for me, really. You already did more than enough, but more than I thought anyone could. Come to think of it, we never talked about the letter you wrote. But I feel like we're way past that at this point. I don't even know what to talk about. Except that I think it helped me understand my needs a little bit better. The way I like to be treated. The kinds of friends that I want to have. That's why I wanted to start coming here in the first place, even though I was so scared of causing more problems. I thought it was coincidence that you ran into me here initially. Well, not exactly. What do you mean? Nothing. I may have tracked you down first, with the help of Sayori. But you said... I was shy, okay? I wasn't ready to, like, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Well, I guess I'm glad you worked up the courage. Even if it was in your own way. I can tell you've been making a lot of difficult decisions. It's brave. It'll make things better in the long run. I think anyone would be proud of you for it. And anyone? You mean, like, you? Yes. Like me. She's blushing so hard right now. You know, I could get used to this. As long as you don't tease me too much. Oh. I could get used to this as long as you don't tease me too much. I think it was Yuri that said that. I keep forgetting to check the names properly. Fine. Just a little, then. That's fine. I know how uncertain everything feels to you right now, but I really do think that good things are in store. Those are my honest feelings. Thanks. Feels nice to be reassured. Oh my gosh, this is so freaking cute, I love it! Two girls continue their conversation for the remainder of lunch, but a new feeling hangs in the air, a feeling of greater certainty in their path forward. In just a few hours, there'll be another literature club meeting. The 4 club members will happily spend time together, each of them all of their own special qualities of something unique that they can deliver to one another. Through friendship and literature, the club members will continue to grow and find new happiness together. The end of each chapter is the start of the next, Yuri thinks to herself. Since she's about to finish her long-running series, it would be best to have a new book lined up. Perhaps this weekend would be a good time to visit the bookstore. Together. Ah, cute! See, I still don't like the fact that, Episode 3 felt like an actual ending, if you know what I mean. I knew it! I knew there was a finale. I knew there was another one. There's the last one. Alright, we have one more episode. Let's look at the pictures real quick, though. We've got all of those now, so that's pretty dope. Anything there? No? Oh, I think we've got all of these as well. Hell yeah. Yeah, the CG. Nice. There's still 2 that I'm missing, though. Those might be from the next episode. Maybe. There's still some secrets to find. Not sure what. I've got all the backgrounds now. There's actually only one more sketch to find. Interesting. And then, oh, it's a new promo. Artwork drawn by Satchler to celebrate Monika's birthday in 2019. Finished all of the side stories. Well, that's a lie. I've not done equals. Anyway, in the next episode, we're going to finish off Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, and I'm super sad about that. It's been a hell of a ride, once again. Hell to the yes, especially with all this new stuff as well. But yeah, next episode will be equals. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Pip pip toodaloo!